this video we're going to take a look at problem solving real world problems using sets. So in this question it says there's 100 people. So what I know is within that box straight away the total has to be 100. So that's a nice way to check the end that you got the answer right, is to check that all of them, everything inside the circles and inside the box, total to 100. It says they were asked which of the three magazines A, B and C they had read on the previous day. It was found that 29 people read A. So I'm going to give that a colour. So A, I know that within the circle that I'm going to call A here, this one, that 29 is the total within there. The next one I know is B, and I know that 40 people read B. So within this yellow circle here, I know that there'll be 40 people in total. And the final one then is 38 people read C. So everything within the pink circle should add up to 38. So there's the three pieces of information that were given at the very beginning. Now to figure out what's in all of those intersections, we're given some more information. So it says 10 people read A and B but not C. So in this scenario, in the overlap between A and B, which does not include C, there's 10 people. So here's circle A, the blue, here's circle B, the yellow, and here there is an overlap between blue and yellow, but there's also the pink circle involved. So outside of that, inside here, there's 10 people because it said not C. And I don't have to put X there. I don't need to do that. Not now anyway. But there's 10 people right there. The next one, 12 people read B and C but not A. So if you read B and C but not A, you're talking about down here. 12 people. 7 people read A and C but not B. So A, C but not B. So I'm going to put 7 people inside there. The next thing is that 30 people did not read any of the three magazines. So the number 30 goes outside of the three circles. Finally then, they want us to find out people who read all three of the magazines and the number of people who read one magazine only. Okay, let's focus on part one for now. I have no idea what that number is. But what I do know is that when I have an unknown in a maths problem, I can use the letter X. So I'm going to put the letter X inside there. The next piece of information I know is that A had to equal to 29. If you think back at the start, I know that everything within the blue circle is 29. So in the blue circle already, I have 7, 10 and X. So what I have left inside here for A, the total is 29, but if I take away 10, because I've already counted that, and I take away 7, because I've already counted that, and X, what am I left with then in A only? So I'm going to do that now. So 29, take away 10, take away 7, I'm left with 12, and then I'm left with minus X. I can't do anything with that yet, but what I can do is write that in here. So 12 take away X. The next thing I know then is, let's look at B. I know that B's total is 40 people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. If I look at the yellow circle there for B, I know that the total is 40. But of the 40, I have accounted for already 10. And I've accounted for 12, and I've accounted for X. So I'm taking away 10 because I've counted them already. I'm taking away 12 and I'm taking away X because they are already within the yellow circle. So what am I left with then? So 40 minus 10 minus 12 will give me 18 minus X. So I'm left with 18 minus X over here. And the last one then is C. And we were told at the top, if we remember, that C had a total of 38. So C was equal to 38. So let's take out what we've already counted. We've already counted 7, we've already counted 12, and we've already counted X. So what are we left with? 38 minus 7 minus 12. I'm left with 19, take away X. And that's in the pink region. Now, how am I going to piece all of that together to figure out what x is? Well, we have one unknown in the question. So we have one unknown. There is only one letter there that we don't know the value of, and that is x. So if I have one unknown, I must set up one equation. So what equation could I set up? That's what I'm trying to think of now. So what equation? Well, what I know is that everything inside that box must total to 100. So if I add this and this and this and this, this and this and this and the 30, it has to total to 100. So I'm going to set that up as an equation. So I understand it conceptually. Now I'm going to translate it into maths. So my equation is going to be, let's start with the blue box or the blue circle. Let's take everything out of that, which is 12 minus x and a 7 and an x and a 10. So I've counted this, this and this in the blue circle. Then I'm just left with the C only, which is 19 minus x, and I'm left with the 12. I haven't counted that yet, so I'm going to add that now with the B, and I'm going to have to include the 18 minus x as well. The other thing I knew was that 30 was on the outside, so I'm going to say plus 30, and it's all equal to the total that we were told in the question, which is 100. So there's everything that was inside in the sets, all of the universal set, and I'm going to work out this equation now. So I'm going to get all my numbers together and get all my x's together. So all the numbers is going to be 12 and 7 and 10 and 19 and 12 and 18 and 30. So again, I should have 12 and 7, so 12, 7, 10, 19, 12, 18 and 30. And if I put all of that into my calculator, I get 108. The next thing I'm going to do now is gather all of the x's together. So I've got minus x plus x, so that gives me 0. Minus x gives me minus x. Minus another x gives me minus 2x. So minus 2x, and it's all equal to 100. The next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to subtract 108 from both sides, and that will give me minus 2x is equal to 100 minus 108. If I work that out then, on this side, 100 minus 108 leaves me with minus 8. Minus 2x multiplying by x, minus 2 multiplying by x gives me minus 8. That gives me minus 8 over minus 2. So I'm dividing, I'm undoing it. And if I work that out in my calculator, I get 4 as my final answer. So do take your time when you're writing out those numbers. Double check that you've got everything. Maybe what I found helped me there was when I had it already included them, I put a little check mark next to them, or you could highlight it, whatever you like, just to keep track. There's a little bit of accounting involved here, keeping track of numbers and making sure that you have them all. Then when you're putting it into your calculator, just make sure that you've included all of the numbers again. That's a place where you could have a simple slip. You could put in an 11 instead of a 12, and then all of a sudden you're getting a very different answer. So just take your time with that. So we've done part 1. That was part 1 there. Part 2 then talked about the people who read one magazine only. So what we're talking about there is not the people in the overlap regions, but the people out here. So the people that exist in the A only circle. So this guy, for example. Now, that's something that we can work on because we didn't know at the start what the X was. So we had that A only was 12 minus x, but we actually know now that x is 4. So instead of that x, I can say that it's 12 minus 4, which tells me that A only was 8 people. If I go to the next one and I do the same thing for B only, and I do B only, I'm going to have 18 minus x. Well, I know what x is now. 18 minus x is the same as now 18 minus 4, which is going to be 14. And then finally to do C, what I'm going to have is C only is going to be, what was our total? It was 19 take away X. So I'm going to have 19 take away X. That's going to be 19 take away 4, which gives me 15. So there we go. None of that is particularly difficult, and it's all stuff you've been doing since first year. We're now just adding a little bit of an extra layer to it, where you're having to solve a real world problem, and you've probably noticed there's very little numbers or X's involved. You have to fill in all of those blanks from the words that are there. So it's a little bit of a translating exercise. So have a look at it again, go through it step by step, try another question, and always make sure you're checking to see are you getting your answer right. And if you're not, make sure you check in with someone.